Hey guys, welcome back to Why Not Travel, and once again, this is Robert. So, we woke up this morning and decided that we wanted to do a last minute camping trip. Now, we decided to just go east and head up to the Sequoias, which is about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours from Fresno, which is where we live. So, the one thing about California though is a lot of people come here to go camping. And people in the valley as well also head up to the mountains to go camping during the weekend and whatnot. So you can make reservations to book your campsite. However, since we did this so last minute, we decided to just drive up here and to see if we could get a campsite. And honestly, we didn't know if we were going to get one. We drove around probably for a good 2 hours around the Sequoias, and we finally found a campsite that's not reserved. So we are getting the stuff out of our car and we're going to set up our camp and let's see how this goes. It's been an interesting time, and I already know going forward we're definitely going to reserve at least a week ahead instead of waiting last minute. So let's do this. So there you have it, guys. We got our tent set up, we got unpacked, we're still moving things around and whatnot. Now, we didn't bring a whole bunch. Honestly, this is our first camping trip with just the two of us. We're usually with family or friends and whatnot. So we're going to see if we could do this on our own. And to be honest, we don't have a lot of camping gear compared to our friends and family. So one thing that I did bring out is uh, almost 5 years ago when we got married, my boss bought me a portable propane grill, and it stayed in the box and we have never used it because, like I said, we normally camp with friends and everything and they have all that stuff with them. So we're going to actually use it for the first time. So that should be interesting. Another thing I bought is a hammock. Once again, one of our family members has one of these. They brought it to them with one of the camping trips that we did, and I fell in love with it. So I went ahead and bought one for myself, and they're actually really cheap on Amazon. They sell them at REI and other sporting good places, but get it on Amazon for a fraction of the price. It comes with everything you need, and it is very convenient and very easy to set up. Highly recommend that. So now we're probably just gonna cook because Jesse has a headache and he's hungry and I just embarrassed him. And so yeah, let's see how this grill works and we'll go from there. Okay, so we got the grill all set up. It was a little finicky to get it lit, but I finally figured it out. And yeah, I'm impressed. So we have some chicken kebabs, and we're gonna cook them. And let's see how this works. Okay, so we had lunch. We had those chicken kebabs. They're already like pre-made. You just have to cook them. And we got teriyaki. And from my experience with those chicken kebabs is They all taste the same. I don't care which seasoning or flavor you get. They all taste the same, and they're all right. I don't know if we're gonna keep on getting them. Jesse is laying down. I checked with the camp host and verified that this campsite is open for us, and so I was very happy to hear that it was open because, like I said, majority of the campsites are reserved for this weekend. So we really, really lucked out. Like I said, we almost went back home. So as we're waiting for the ranger to come by, Jesse is taking a nap, and I think the hammock is calling my name. So I'm gonna lounge in the hammock for a bit and just wait for the camp host, wait for Jesse to finish taking his nap, and then we'll go walking around because honestly, I have no idea what's around us. This campsite's kind of out of the way, and I think that's why we were able to find a spot because all the main camping sites are fully booked. There is no way to get a last minute camping spot at one of those places. So yeah, anyways, let's take in the view and relax for a bit. I love this hammock. I really do. You guys need to buy these portable hammocks, especially if you go camping. Yeah. Anyways, I'll catch up with you guys.
Now, while editing this video, I actually realized I never said the name of the camping ground. So the camping ground we're at is called Big Meadow, and it's actually right next to the trailhead named Big Meadow. No surprise there. And Big Meadow Trail is known for its spectacular views and lakes along the way. It is not a short trail. I believe it's about 12 miles, if not longer, but a lot of people say it's well worth it. We did hike a little bit of it, but we really didn't have the time, so we went a little ways and turned around and came back.
Okay, hey guys, so just an update. We're back at the campsite. I'm just wandering around actually looking for some wood to burn so we could have a fire tonight. So one thing to note though, we normally camp at Dinky Creek and we never bring firewood. And the reason for that is because one, they sell firewood and you can just buy some. But there's actually a bunch of fallen branches and just wood all around, so it's really not a big deal to just walk around the campsite around Dinky Creek and get enough wood for a fire for at least a night. So this campsite, however, is very, very remote. There's no store, there's no place to buy firewood, no place to buy gasoline, no place to really buy supplies. Yes, there is a village, but it's about 30 minutes away. So, like I said, I think the reason why all the they still had spots at this camping ground that haven't been reserved yet is because it is such a remote area. It is beautiful though, if you want to, you know, be one with nature in the middle of a forest and everything, and away from civilization and away from a lot of people, because we haven't seen a lot of people venture up into this area. This is the place for you. But with that said, come prepared. Make sure you have everything. Even if you think you're packing too much, it's probably not too much if you're coming here. And as you could see, as we were walking around, there's also not a lot of just random sticks and wood laying around. Now, luckily, I realized as I was looking around, I found this area that has a couple of fallen trees. So I've been breaking out the branches and taking it over to our campsite. So that's what I have been doing. And so yeah, like I said, it's very, very beautiful and everything. But if you're coming here, come prepared and bring firewood, because I'm lucky now because I was able to find this tree right here. But you could tell other people have been breaking off branches off of this tree, not just me. And so sooner or later, you won't be able to use this spot to get firewood, and you could be in a different area completely. So yeah, that is what I'm currently doing. Jesse's taking a nap at the moment. That's why I'm just kind of wandering around collecting firewood. And actually, I'm probably gonna hike up there and see if there's a vista or a view. We might be lucky, and there might be. So yeah, I'm gonna go check that out, and then on my way back down, I'm gonna stop here, get more firewood, and we'll go from there. Anyways, it's beautiful. Oh look, a lizard. Hey, lizard. So that lizard is probably the most dangerous thing I have seen so far. I haven't seen any bears or anything, and hopefully it stays that way. Okay, so I need to catch my breath. So I hiked up this little area. It was basically fairly easy. It was just more steeper than I thought it was going to be. And once we get to the top, I was right. We do have a small vista point. And it's absolutely beautiful up here. So, one thing I said in my Utah videos when we went to Zion and stuff is that one thing I really appreciated is that, yes, there was hiking trails, but there was also a road so people could drive up to all the notable spots, if you will, and taking the views for themselves. And that really stood out to me because in the Sierra Nevada, especially in California, if I'm honest with you guys, that's not the case. Yes, there's Yosemite, and Yosemite is absolutely beautiful if you even stay in the camping spots and everything. And one day we will head out to Yosemite so you guys could actually see it and see exactly what I mean. But how California does their national parks is, one, they're freaking huge. And you can explore for miles. Yes, there's trails. But honestly, a lot of people come here and they don't even follow a trail. They blaze their own trail across the national forest. In fact, my old coworker used to do that, and he used to show me pictures and tell me stories of the things he has seen along the way, and you'll be amazed at what you could find out here. But I will admit that is dangerous as well. So if you're going to attempt that, make sure you have the proper training to do so. So the thing of it is how these national parks work in California is you're down in a valley. In fact, this camping spot that we're in is in a valley. And from that valley, there's hiking trails that go on for miles. And I mean miles. And they will take you to waterfalls and rivers and lakes and cliff and vantage points. And you will have a fabulous time if you like to hike. The downside is they don't have a road there. So if you have mobility issues or anything like that, or hate hiking, you're really not going to see the beauty of these national parks, at least in California, which is kind of a shame if I really think about it. Yes, there's a road that goes through here and it goes to some very, very beautiful areas. Like we actually drove past Hume Lake, and it looked like something from out of a movie. And me and Jesse both agreed we definitely need to come back and stay at that lake sometimes because it's beautiful. And unfortunately, I didn't get any video of it because we were driving and we drove right past it because the campground over there was full, which wasn't a surprise because it was right on the lake. So that's just one thing to note if you're coming to California to visit the national parks here. Just know if you really want to see the beauty of these places, you're going to have to hike, and it's not going to be a short or an easy hike even. Yosemite's a little different, but even Yosemite, if you want to go up to Half Dome or to Nevada Falls, you are going to be in for a lovely hike. And actually, that hike made Jesse hate hiking. And honestly, that's why we're not really hiking here either, because yeah, I mean, hiking takes a lot out of you. And so you got to be fit and prepared for that. So another thing I know some of you guys are probably wondering is, you're in the Sequoias. Where is the giant Sequoias? Um, Here's something that you guys may not know about the giant Sequoias in California. They grow in groves, basically in clusters, and they're random. You honestly don't know where all of them are. I don't think California or the National Forest Registry, etc., has really truly mapped out where all the giant sequoias are, because they just grow in clusters of like 3 to 5 trees in a very small area. And so, honestly, you could be walking through these mountains, and then all of a sudden you see a giant sequoia, and when you see one, you're gonna see a couple of them, and they're just kind of randomly throughout the valley. It has to be a very good, ideal environment for the giant sequoia to grow. So if you're thinking they're everywhere, they're not, if I'm honest with you guys. In fact, I haven't really seen a single sequoia for all of today, if I'm honest with you guys. Now, I know where they are, and we didn't go there. And actually, when I did my short little hike, I think I saw a baby sequoia, mainly because it was obvious it was hit by lightning, and sequoias are known to be hit by lightning because of how big they are and how tall they are. And so it has a very distinct burn mark on it. And that's also why giant sequoias, the tree never reaches its total height, because lightning hits the tree and the tree breaks in half. And so yeah. So with that said, I know some of you guys really want to see the giant sequoias and also the General Grant, which is the world's biggest tree. So we'll do that tomorrow. Like I said, I know where it is, but it is honestly not close to our camping site. And so we'll do that tomorrow. And so if you guys are curious and want to see how big these trees really are, you'll see it. And like I said, we'll do that tomorrow. Today, I think it's just going to be a lazy day at the campsite. Have some dinner, have a campfire, etc. I honestly don't know how much I'm going to film of that, if I'm honest with you guys. The reason why is this camera that I have really doesn't do good in low lighting. So in shady areas, or even when the sun starts to set, yeah, this camera is not up for that task. So maybe one day I'll get a better camera, but until then, I really can't film night shots or evening shots. So I apologize, guys. So anyways, this is where we're at. So let's see what else happens. Okay. Good morning, everyone. So we have a fire lit. We're starting to cook breakfast. And yeah, so last night was fairly okay sleeping in the tent. Still don't really like sleeping on the ground, but we got this little mat, so it makes things a little easier. And it wasn't that cold that night. There was a chill in the air. You could see my breath, but it's not that bad. It's manageable. So what's the plan for today? We're gonna have breakfast, probably chill out the camp a little bit more, then have lunch, break down the camp, and then head on home. But on our way home, we're gonna stop and see the giant sequoias and the General Grant. I told you guys yesterday that we'll do that. So, yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna finish cooking. We're gonna have breakfast, and we'll go from. Hey guys, so we made it to General Grant's Grove, which is where the giant sequoias are, and they stand out like a sore thumb. So this is the parking lot, and we're gonna start walking into this grove, and we're gonna make our way to Grant's tree, which is actually our nation's Christmas tree and the only living monument in the United States. And if you think these trees are big, just wait until you see Grant's tree. So anyways, let's go ahead and walk through.
So when the giant sequoias were first discovered in the early 1800s, the people that discovered them could not believe how big these trees actually were, and they started writing letters back to other people on the East Coast about them, and no one actually believed them that a tree could get this big. So they challenged each other to see who could chop down a giant sequoia as proof that these trees are really that big. And it started this whole lumbering of the giant sequoias. And unfortunately, it's a shame because a lot of these trees were cut down during that time, and some of them were even 20 foot in diameter, and it takes years for these trees to get that big. But the tree that you're seeing right now is actually one that they discovered that had already fallen down by natural causes, and they hauled it out to turn it into a makeshift cabin, if you will, that they could shelter in as they were in this area. Now, not all of them were cut down because, believe it or not, even back in the early 1800s, people realized how rare these trees are in their natural beauty. So a select few of them, they decide to leave intact and not cut them down. And so we're actually really lucky that that took place, because if they would have did a clear cut of this forest, unfortunately the giant sequoias could have been extinct. But luckily some of them thought ahead and said, no, some of these trees need to be preserved.
So there we have it, guys. Grant's tree, the biggest tree in the world. Now, as I was saying yesterday, what's interesting about the sequoias is because they're so huge, they're prone to getting hit by lightning. And when you see a tree with a scar like that, that looks like a burn mark, that is the telltale sign that the tree's been hit by lightning, and that is what you're looking at the moment. Now, another interesting thing about these sequoias is no one knows how tall a sequoia can actually get, because they get hit by lightning and the top of the tree breaks off and comes crashing down to the ground. So no one actually really knows how tall these trees can get if the lightning didn't hit them. And it is absolutely beautiful. It's awe-inspiring.
Now, another thing in this area that is preserved, and you could actually go inside it and see it, is the Gainling Cabin. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I could be wrong, but it is what it is. You could pause the video here if you want to read about it. It was built out of some of the sequoias that were cut down in this area, and I believe it was the first true cabin built in the area as well. And there you have it. That was our weekend getaway in the Sequoias, and I thought this would be a good place to end the video because after this, we literally just drove back home. And it is really nice that we have so many national parks around us, and we take it for granted. If I'm honest, we actually completely forget that the giant sequoias are literally in our backyard, just an hour drive away. Anyways, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I leave you with this: why not travel?